Do you stay away from gluten? Do you realize or do you notice that you feel better, that your Hashimoto's, your hypothyroid symptoms seem to do better when you're off of gluten? According to a study that Dr. Isabella Wentz did, she's a pharmacist, about 80% of people with Hashimoto's do feel better when they're off gluten. And we talked about this in episode 44, where I help you figure out the diet maze. We also talked about it in episode 108, which is all about gluten. Today, I want to help you identify some hidden sources of gluten that you might not realize. And this episode was prompted by the paper straw executive order a while back. President Trump said that the government has been meddling in environmental stuff too much and that people should be allowed to have plastic straws if they wanted, which is fine. That's politics. But I did not realize until that time that some paper straws are made of wheat products. Did you know that? I did not know that. Now, I don't go out to eat. I have not ever encountered a paper straw, I don't think, in my entire life, because I don't go to such establishments, but maybe you do. And maybe you have accidentally consumed gluten when you're trying to stay away from it because you never thought to ask, what are the ingredients of this paper straw? Which, who would think to ask that? It kind of blew my mind when I heard that paper straws could have gluten. So today's episode is going to be all about other things that also might contain gluten. My sister sends me screenshots of different foods or supplements or products that she's looking at buying, and it just comes with like the short question, does this have gluten? And then I look it up and let her know. And when I was replying yesterday, I think, we were talking about some ingredients. She's like, I just have to look for wheat, right, in the ingredients? And I said, well, mostly, but also there's barley malt, and that would be in things like Rice Krispie bars. Not all of Rice Krispie bars, but some Rice Krispie bars will have gluten because they have barley malt. And barley malt is in the brand name Rice Krispies. The generic ones, at least the generic ones from Aldi, do not contain barley malt. They're just puffed rice. They don't have gluten. But unless somebody can tell me where they bought their Rice Krispies, like if they say I bought generic from Aldi, like, okay, now I know it's okay. But if they just say these are Rice Krispie bars and they are gluten-free, I don't know if that person recognizes that barley malt has gluten. And so if they don't recognize that, they might have just looked at the package and said, well, there's no wheat in here. So obviously these Rice Krispies are fine. And so the Rice Krispie bars are fine because Rice Krispie bars are just Rice Krispies and marshmallows and butter. I mean, sweet, crunchy, delicious snack. Not good for you, not even a little bit, but delicious. And contaminated with gluten or, containing gluten if you have brand name Rice Krispies. And I don't know all of the other brands, but what else has gluten that you might not know about? First of all, 3.5 minutes into the episode, welcome back to another episode of Health with Hashimoto's. This is a podcast where I help you figure out simple and sustainable ways to take control of your health if you have Hashimoto's, because I want you to be able to control the controllables. I want you to be able to be empowered. We're not in victim mode here. We're not like, woe is me, I have this autoimmune thing and there's nothing I can do. No, we're getting out of that mindset completely. And we are looking every single day for small things that we can do to change the trajectory of our health. There are always things you can do. And in saying that, I don't want to overwhelm you by telling you all of the things that you can do, because there are a lot. So in this podcast, every single week, my goal is to help you find something that is simple and sustainable. And if that is right up your alley, and if you have not gone through the Holistic Hashimoto's course yet, it is a 4-week course. It's self-paced. So if you have, life come up and you can't do it all in 4 weeks, it's fine. You have it, for as long as you're in the community. It's over in school.com. SKOOL.com is where I have that hosted now. And you can jump on in and you can figure out exactly what to do for you, for your situation, for your personality, for your family. Sometimes things that will work for one person might not work for somebody else just because of all of the family dynamics. Like, only you know what's going to work for you. So the Holistic Hashimoto's course is available for you so that you can figure out exactly what to do for your health. All right, back to sources of gluten. Now, I mentioned the paper straws and the Rice Krispies. What are some other ones? One that I never would have thought of was soy sauce and teriyaki sauce. Now, I had heard people say that it's really hard to have Chinese food if you have to stay away from gluten. But I thought that was due to noodles. And I was like, well, it's kind of weird because rice doesn't have gluten, but it's not necessarily the noodles. It's the seasonings. It's the soy sauce and the teriyaki sauce. Most of them contain wheat. And so if you are having something that is seasoned with soy sauce or teriyaki sauce, that includes in a marinade. So some meats, like you think, oh, my meat is gluten-free because it's meat. If the marinade contained soy sauce or teriyaki sauce, it has wheat in it, so you cannot have it if you are staying away from gluten. For this one, there's a super simple substitute, and it is coconut aminos. If you've never heard of coconut aminos, it comes in a bottle similar to soy sauce, and it's just, to me, it tastes the same. I don't know, maybe you are a little bit pickier on your palate and you'll be able to taste a difference. I cannot taste the difference. It's sweet, tangy, salty. I use it exactly how and when and where I would use soy sauce. And you can get coconut aminos. I think we get ours at just the regular grocery store. I don't know if they have it at Aldi, but I know they have it at Walmart or wherever you get your groceries. Another thing that could have hidden gluten is bouillon cubes and soup bases. Some of them have wheat as a thickener. Now, this is a common thing for hidden gluten. It's when they use wheat to thicken something. And then obviously, if the wheat is in there, then the gluten is going to get in there. So bouillon cubes and soup bases. So you might think, well, this is just our broth. It's a clear broth, so it's fine, right? Well, usually, but not always. Always check the labels. This also goes for flavored coffee and tea. Now, it's not the coffee and tea directly. It's usually the flavorings, or it's something added to the syrup, which would be, I guess, the flavoring. So your coffee and your tea might have some gluten. Most of it is gluten-free, but it's always best to be aware and to read labels. I know that Keurig, I think 99% of their flavors are gluten-free, but one of them specifically is not gluten-free. Now, this is according to an article I'm reading on verywellhealth.com, and it's all about gluten and coffee and tea. They said that Timothy's Lemon Blueberry K-Cup Pods, it's a really long title, they have gluten. So Timothy's Lemon Blueberry K-Cup Pods. It must be some brand. Sub-brand? I don't know. Other coffees, other Keurig type pods are fine, though some of them have malt. Now, malt is another key word that you want to look for. Like I said, in the Rice Krispies, barley malt it's the key. If it has barley malt, then it has wheat. Some of the coffees will also have malt. Malt does contain gluten. Nestle Nespresso claims that all of their coffee pods are gluten-free, even though some of them include descriptions like malt. So I mean, it says it has malt, but it also says it's gluten-free. So depending on how sensitive you are, it should be fine, but you have to decide for yourself. So coffees and teas are another, or could be another source of hidden gluten, especially, like I said, if they have malt. All right, another really weird one is pre-shredded cheese. Now, of course, cheese is just cheese, right? Well, you know, if they pre-shred it, have you ever shredded your own cheese and then let it sit for a little while and it all cakes together? It all squishes, it like re-solidifies, and it's never re-solidified in a bag when you buy pre-shredded cheese at the grocery store. Have you ever wondered why? Well, they add something to it. They add a non-caking ingredient or agent so that the cheese slices or cheese shreds, is that what you'd call them? They don't stick together. Some of the anti-caking agents contain gluten. So again, look at the package. Now, this is probably where you're going to say or see that it has a risk of gluten or it is processed on something that contains gluten. It might not specifically say it has gluten. So just be aware. I don't eat imitation crab, but I have read when doing the research for this episode that imitation crab contains wheat often, not always, often. So again, you're looking at it, you're thinking, well, this is meat. This is seafood. Of course, there's no wheat growing in the ocean, so this is fine, right? Well, that's what you would want to think. But if it's imitation, it might have some wheat in it. And that goes for any meat substitutes, like veggie burgers or what else, tofu, whatever else you would get that is a meat substitute. Some of it can be contaminated with wheat or gluten, and some of it is going to contain the gluten because of the seasonings like the soy sauce or the teriyaki sauce. So again, read the labels. Another one that is frustrating, at least for me, is salad dressing and sauces. Now, I just assume when I am eating somewhere that if it is a sauce, that it has wheat in it. It's just the easiest way for me to figure it out. If there's a sauce, I automatically discount it. I'm like, I can't eat it because so many sauces are thickened with wheat or have some wheat in it as an ingredient. I would assume to thicken, but maybe there's another reason. I don't know. If you know why they put wheat in other than to thicken, let me know. But salad dressings, why would they have wheat? I have no idea. Why would salad dressings have wheat? Wheat does not add a flavor to a salad dressing, and yet some salad dressings have wheat. I don't know why. I did not go to culinary school, and when I am making my own salad dressings, it's like oil and vinegar and maybe some garlic salt or something. Mine are super simple. I don't add wheat to my salad dressings. I don't know why you would, but read the labels because some salad dressings do have wheat and you don't want to work so hard to avoid gluten and you avoid, the delicious baked bread that somebody just made and it smells so good and you are like sticking to what you believe is best for your body. You are not enjoying that baked bread. And then you get glutened because you used salad dressing that you didn't really care about. Like that would be totally unfair. So if you're going to go to the work of avoiding the good things with gluten, I consider bread really good because gluten-free bread is not really good. I have tried all different types. And also, you're avoiding baked goods. And then you get glutened from some salad dressing? Totally unfair. Read the labels. All right, something else that you might be aware of, if you have ever made Play-Doh for your kids, you probably know that it's wheat flour. It's like wheat flour and salt, right? It's been a long time since I had preschoolers and we made it. Actually, funny story. My first kid and my fourth kid, it's like they had two different moms. I remember walking through, I don't know, the store, Target maybe. I don't know where we were walking. And my first son saw pre-packaged Play-Doh, like brand name Play-Doh, and he was blown away that you could just buy Play-Doh that was already made, that you didn't have to take an afternoon and make a big pot of Play-Doh and then divide it and color it yourself. He had no idea that it was like available, already made. He had no clue. He was just, whoa, what is this? And of course, then he wanted some, but we could make it. My fourth son, I have only boys, so I'm like not discriminating against my girls. I don't have girls. My fourth son was completely the opposite. One time I made Play-Doh, or I said I was going to, and he's like, what? You can make Play-Doh? He only knew that it was pre-made. He had no idea that you could make it from scratch. So I'm saying like you can, either one is right. Both of them are right. You have to do what works for you in your current season of life. Which, like I said, is what we address in the Holistic Hashimoto's course. Everything has to be tailored to what will work for you. When I only had one baby, then I could make Play-Doh. And it was fun. And we would do it together. It was this, a bigger craft. And then he would play with it. I got the most fun and enjoyment out of making it. I didn't want to play with it, but he could. And by the time I had 4 boys, I didn't have time to sit down and make a pot of Play-Doh. No, please just throw it in the cart and let's buy it. You have to do what works for you. And that goes with so many areas of your health. It goes for so many different root causes. It impacts everything. You have to do what works for you in this season of life. So Play-Doh is made of wheat. And I think cloud dough, I think that's what they call it. I don't think that has wheat in it. I think that is baking powder, maybe. But check the labels. There are like finger type Play-Dohs, not Play-Doh, but a dough that you can play with. There are some that are gluten-free. Just, again, read the labels, be aware, do some Googling before you go to the store to get some. All right, here's another big one that you're not going to see on an ingredient label. And if you've ever listened to the episodes where I talk about supplements, I have said, do not buy your supplements from Amazon. I am very, very consistent with that message. Amazon does not have quality controls for their supplements. If you're going to buy supplements online, buy them from Fullscript or buy them from a place that does have quality controls. And Amazon is not that place. I use Amazon. I know it's a huge company. It would be better to support local. I understand that. I do use Amazon. I use them for many different things, but not supplements. Do not buy your supplements from Amazon. And one reason is that some supplements, especially the counterfeit ones, or especially the ones that are from other countries where they don't have good quality control, they use wheat as a filler. So I have heard from people who have personally talked to companies like the research and development, the quality control people. They will go on Amazon and buy, quote, their own product from Amazon. And what they get are counterfeits. And then they will open up or, chop up, dissolve, whatever. They will analyze their quote, their product that they got from Amazon, which is really a counterfeit. And some of them are filled with wheat. Some of them have been filled with sawdust. Like, do not buy your supplements from Amazon. And if you're getting a capsule, just make sure that it doesn't say wheat. I don't know of any good supplements that would have wheat in them. The only ones that I know of that do are the counterfeits. And then, of course, it's not going to say counterfeit. That would be really funny if the bottle said, this is a counterfeit product. It does contain wheat. That would make it really easy to identify. All right, so the last thing that you need to watch out for that might be a hidden source of gluten is cosmetics. Some lipstick, lip balm, and other cosmetics can contain some gluten. The first time I encountered this was actually in my shampoo and conditioner. It had wheat germ in it, or maybe it just had wheat. I can't remember. It's been a really long time. I was completely gobsmacked. I'd been using the shampoo and conditioner forever. I don't even remember why I know. I was at somebody else's house. And you know how sometimes when you're in a new environment or a strange environment, you just are extra cautious. So I decided to read the labels on their stuff that they were willing to share with me. And it had wheat in it. I was like, okay, that's weird. And so then I looked at my own. I was like, wait, what? There's wheat in my shampoo? Why in the world would they do that? But then I remembered seeing some commercials, and it wasn't for the product that I use, but I remember seeing some commercials, and they were talking about how like the wheat made your hair thicker or stronger or something. I was like, okay, so it must be a marketing gimmick, and maybe it does work. I don't know. But check your personal care products. It also can be in lotions, moisturizers, lipsticks, because it helps with the viscosity and also can help with the moisturizing. Again, I don't understand, because if you ever put your hand in flour, it's sure not moisturizing. I don't know. I'm not a chemist. I'm just telling you what I see in actual products and what a good Google search is showing me. So I am going to link to one of the articles that was really helpful. It's from the Gluten-Free Society, and this article is about cosmetics. They have some things that you should watch for, the sneaky terms. So, of course, you're going to look for wheat and you're going to look for gluten, but also watch out for wheat germ, hydrolyzed wheat protein, hydrolyzed vegetable protein can be a code word for gluten. Avena sativa is in oats and commonly found in lotions. And the Gluten-Free Society says watch out for that one. And then also Triticum estivum. I don't know if I said that right. And that is also another name for wheat. It's spelled TRITICUM like I said, I'll put the link to this article down in the show notes so that you can look at those on your own. So I am curious, have you ever accidentally been glutened? You're trying so hard to stay away from gluten and then you run into it in some weird place, like soy sauce or Play-Doh or your shampoo. Come over to our school community and share your story and share some favorite recipes because we all love to know what we should be eating. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Please discuss any concerns and plans with your trusted healthcare professional. If you found this episode helpful, will you please share it with a friend? I'll see you next week on the Health with Hashimoto's podcast.